Well, Chuck, we're going to get started with you.
Okay.
Uh, Chuck, can you share with us how how many times you call to get me interested to even sit down for lunch with you at this beautiful restaurant on Azusa? Can you share with us so they understand the process, how to recruit somebody crazy like me?
I will do that, but I think Ray, it needs some context. Um, I'm I'm a believer that whatever you want to achieve, and it might be learning, wanting to learn to play the piano, wanting to learn to play the violin, wanting to be a great golfer, wanting to build LifeWave. There are certain fundamental baby steps at all of those endeavors that you have to be willing to commit to. Um, and I, I've subscribed to that over different careers that I've had and different jobs that I've had, is that I would want to identify what do I need to do every day to be a better, fill in the blank, to be a better piano player, to be a better golfer, to be better at building my LifeWave business. And at the very base level, if you think about it, it's reps. In other words, it's doing something over and over and over until it gets even a little boring. I mean, I look at the great pianists, but we all know that they started with "Mary Had a Little Lamb" over and over and over. They were willing to pay the price every day to do the reps. So when I built my LifeWave business, I knew that I had to present LifeWave to people, period. I couldn't sit around and look at the website. I couldn't study stem cells. I couldn't read stem cells for dummies or energy products for dummies. I actually had to go out and talk to people. So if you want to build a LifeWave business like I did, which has been extremely successful. In fact, I just got an update on my downline. Now I'm gonna share this with you to tell you how powerful the the geometry of the way downlines grow geometrically. Now, a lot of words, and basically your downline is, of course, the distributorship that you build out through lots and lots and lots of different people. Now, it can grow arithmetically, which is add one, add two, add three reps. And that's what real estate brokers do. They add a sales lady, add a salesman, add another salesman, add another sales lady, and that's arithmetic growth. So if you have a real estate office, you might end up with 10 salespeople. They don't propagate one another. They are your direct salespeople, and you're the broker. So that's the way most businesses grow arithmetically, 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. LifeWave is very different. We grow geometrically. And let me just give you the crazy multiple, and then I'll share with you how it applied to me. So if you have 3 reps that you've personally sponsored, and they're pals of yours, maybe they're relatives, maybe they're kids, and you get together at maybe Denny's or Starbucks, the 4 of you, you and your 3, and you say, okay, let's think how each of you can grow your group to 3, just like I did. Well, think about that. Now you've got 12 in your group. You only started with 3, but 3 who have 3 who have 3, you now have 12 in your distribution channel. Very different than growing arithmetically. You grow geometrically. Now I'm going to give you the words to use, but I want you to really understand the dynamics of the way you can grow and should grow your downline. You shouldn't just be adding 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 to 6 to 7. No, you should be adding 3 and work with those 3. Don't go find 4. You don't have time. Just get those 3 to do what you did. Because if you had a 4th you're distracted. You're distracted from your key three. So you want to look at the proposition of your three who get three and then teach those three to get three. Because here's what happens. You're going to start to grow into other neighborhoods, other ethnic populations that may speak a language you don't speak. You might even grow into another state or another country. Well, how's that possible? Well, let's say you have a neighbor, Ishi Hashimoto, who's a real estate guy and you're good pals, you mow the lawns together. You say, Ishi, I've got something you should pay attention to. It's a way to develop some really solid health qualities with your body with nothing going in, no drugs, no chemicals. I got to show you a website. So Ishi looks at a website. He said, oh my gosh, my brother is in Japan. He would go nuts. Now think about that. You don't speak Japanese. You're not flying there to open an office. Your neighbor, the you mow the lawn with, has got a brother who tears the doors off it into Japan. See, that's the beauty of what we do. We propagate with one another to their friends, their neighborhoods, their ethnicity. Now, here's what happened to me. And I know the numbers because I was very careful with the numbers. I personally sponsored 105 people my first year. And out of the 105, I had five. That's only 5%, right? That really got it. And they tore up the pea patch with me, just five. And we would have coffee shop meetings. We would grow together, learn together. Because, we started 17 years ago, folks. I mean, this was before electricity. There weren't even rubber tires back then. We were on wagon wheels. So 17 years ago, I had my five, and they did what I did. And at the end of the year, I had 1,800 in my group. Why do I know that? Because David Schmidt came from Atlanta. I said, David, I have the Holiday Inn packed. My five propagated to 1,800. How? Five, well, do the math. Five who have five, who have five, who have five is 3,000. Well, I had five that got three or five, who got three or five, who got three or five. And what was happening is we were growing into other states, other countries, other languages. I mean, we were all over the map. I couldn't even do meetings anymore because I was flying here, going there. So today, 17 years later, I just did a check. I have 392,000 reps. Now, that seems crazy, right? How the heck can you take 17 years ago and grow to, I just looked at my genealogy, and it's 390,000. It's bizarre. So how did I do it? Well, now remember, with that comes a very, very significant seven-figure income. So it's pretty cool. But what I did is I had, and I'm going to go back to what I said before, I really wanted to hit a home run with LifeWave. Why? I needed it because my real estate business was on the rocks. The market was lousy. I loved the product, and I loved the fact that it was so good for people. No drugs, no chemicals, no surgery, no bone breaking chiropractors. It was just a very, very fun, natural modality. And I said, you know what? I love to talk about LifeWave. So that's the commitment I made. Now, along with that, I looked at, okay, if I want to be a bodybuilder and I want a real beefy chest, I have got to do reps every single day. I got to curl, 150 pounds, 80 times a day. Now I can't quit because if I quit, I've given up on my goal, which was to be a great bodybuilder. You have to do it every single day, over and over and over. Now, fortunately, what I did isn't quite as grueling. You don't have to break a sweat. You just have fun and you share what we're doing with LifeWave. Now, I'm going to give you the icebreakers, the opening conversation that worked very, very successfully with me. And don't change it And in all honesty, I've taught people it and they say, well, Chuck, I've got a better way that it fits my personality. You know what? They're broke. They didn't go anywhere because what fitted their personality did not work. So if I'm going to give you, and I learned it from other people, I didn't, this is something I learned, but I only copy from the best. And luckily I was discerning enough to find the opening icebreakers that worked. On top of that, and I've sort of gone around the bush here, on top of that, I made a commitment of reps. Now, if you say to yourself, okay, my reps are going to be talking to 7, 8 people a day, you can't do it because all of a sudden you've involved a third party. What if there's no one home? What if there's no one on the streets? What if everybody's shut in through COVID? You cannot set a goal that involves a third party. Like, I have a friend who wants to be a better golfer, and I'm a pretty good golfer. And I told him that I made a commitment every day of hitting so many balls. So I said to him one day, I said, David, how are you doing? Well, he said, I made the commitment with my son to hit balls and he couldn't go today. And then I thought I'd take my wife with me and then she wasn't. I said, David, see, you're involving it. It has nothing to do with your son or your wife. It's you. You have got to commit to go out and hitting 200 balls a day. You cannot have a third individual because they are not part of your goal. And what it does, it takes a goal that you have to a dream. You got to get lucky. So I don't believe in luck. I think you can force luck with activity. So I said to myself, rather than committing to talking to 10 people, I'm going to commit to dialing the phone. Now, think about that. Nobody else involved, just me. Now, today it isn't dial, it's touch tone. So I'm not gonna make a goal of calling someone and talking because that's third party. Instead, I'm going to say that I am going to touch my keypad with a phone number. Now, I said 60 times a day. I'm a little bit of a workaholic. So I touched the keypad and dialed numbers 60 times a day. That's 1,800 in 30 days. Do the math. Do the math. 1,800 in 30 days. Now, guess what happened? Some of those people were actually home, and some of them were actually curious. Why? Because it's like gravity, it's the law of numbers. If I were to say to you, okay, Roy, I'm going to flip a coin once, and I'll bet you $1,000 that I can get ahead. I can flip it to a head. I'm going to flip it once, $1,000. That is a scary bet. Scary. But if I said to Roy, I'll tell you what, I'm going to bet you that I can flip a coin to a head, and I'm going to flip it 20 times. And I bet you if I flip that coin 20 times, I'm going to get ahead. I bet you $1,000. Now, Roy's smart enough to say, no, wait a minute. The law of numbers are working against me. But see, the law of numbers are working for you with underscore numbers. You cannot flip a coin 20 times and not get ahead. You cannot get 20 tails in a row, guaranteed, because the law of numbers are like gravity. So what I knew was that if I did 60 dialings, 30 days, 1,800, I got to where I knew that I could bring in 50 new reps. It just was a no-brainer. I had some people say, Chuck, don't even tell me about it. You got me at the right time. I hate my boss. I'm working 80 hours. I don't care what the hell it is. Let's get going. Now, would I get lucky with one call? No. But when you're doing the numbers, the repetitions, you get lucky. Trust me. Now, you're going to be talking to in this drill, and keep score. You have to keep score. Every time you dial, give yourself a little dot. And if they hang up on you, who cares? You got your dot. That's what your goal is. If they're not interested, who cares? You got your dot. Remember, it has nothing to do with what happens at the other end, your goal is to do the reps. So these are the people that you're going to be calling friends. I mean, really, really good friends, friends of friends, which can be good friends if the script is right. Now, I'm going to give you the script. If someone were to say to you, whoa, I work with someone who is just so tired of the hours. He never sees his kids. His name is Fred Mertz, and he'd be a great guy to talk to. Hey, that's a pretty cool friend of a friend, right? And all of a sudden, if your script is right, they will be your friend. And I'm going to give you that script in a minute. So the folks you want to dial are friends, and you can get that from your Christmas card list, from your all of your alumni at school. And there is no chicken list because I'm going to give you the scripts that will vaccinate any fear of rejection. So you can call anybody with my script. Why do I know? Well, think about it. If you did 1,800 calls every 30 days for 2 years, you'd get pretty good, right? And that's what happened to me. So I'm going to share with you those things that work. So friends, that's your first list. And be aggressive. Go back to your old high school, go back to your old college, go back to your church group, go back to your doctor, your lawyer, your Indian chief, who sold you your car. Go through business cards. I had a yellow pad and I had 500 names and numbers when I went through every stick of business card databases, old people that I used to work with, people that were customers, people that tried to sell me insurance. I mean, I had more names that knew me by name recognition. Either they were calling me for insurance or calling me to sell me a car. So they knew me, and that's a friend. Now, the next category is friends of friends, and that's fine. I'm going to give you the script. The third is cold turkey. These are folks that don't know you from a bag of grapes, and you don't know them. All you've got is a name and a number, and you really do need to have a mild reference. How do you know them in the cold market? Did you see their real estate sign? Did you see a sign in the window that said Mary Schwartz, notary public? Did you see a sign that said Dr. Schwartz, uh, dentist? So you put a little parentheses beside that cold name. And I'm going to tell you how you're going to use it. Then the fourth category are referrals. Okay, now there are others, but those are the main, what I would call categories, where you can start to develop a lengthy list of folks and numbers. In fact, I shouldn't even say folks, because that's misleading. Numbers that you're going to dial. That's all you're worried about. You're worried about a dial and you worry about a dot because you want to keep score. And if let's say that you're working full time and you can do 20 in the early evening, you have dinner, you hit the phone at 7:30, and I think you could call people at least until 8:45. Those are reasonable hours. Maybe a little at lunchtime. You decide. But if your working life wave is kind of a secondary, I think 20. Start with 10. Start with 10 a day. Don't make it onerous. Start with 10 a day. And if you say, whoa, that was pretty cool, I got through that pretty quick, move up to 20. Because remember, the more the numbers, the bigger the paycheck. Simple, simple. It's a direct drive. Trust me. So let's talk about icebreakers. Now, the greatest icebreaker with friends and friends of friends is this, and write it down. Don't try to be creative because your creativity is not worth the rejection. Trust me, whatever you think is good, it isn't. This is the best. And it's simply, hey, Dale, let me tell you what happened to me. Now, why is that so strong? Well, number one, it's a major curiosity builder. And think about when they're trying to sell you to go to the next movie, they're trying to encourage you to stay tuned after the commercials. They say, oh, coming up, we have got a guest speaker that's going to give you more information on COVID. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Have you heard that before? Sure. because they're smart enough to say, if I can trigger someone's curiosity, they're going to say, well, okay, what happened to you? Okay, so let me repeat it. Hey, Mary, I was thinking about you, and I got to tell you what happened to me. Do you have a minute? Now, you can put different voice inflection. It's your own personality. Maybe it's a little softer. Maybe it's extremely aggressive. I don't know. Have it to your own personality. And I would practice a little bit. Nothing wrong with that. It's not very long. You could practice with your spouse, with your kids, with a good friend, in front of the mirror, practice in front of the dog and the stuffed animals, but just get it to where it's very comfortable. Say, hey, Eloy, let me tell you what happened to me. Do you have a minute? Now that's a pretty good curiosity builder, right? So that's the way you go to all of your friends and relatives. Now, um, what what you say, what happens to you, is a little bit of a fork in the road. It's like Yogi Berra said, if there's a fork in the road, take it. So I'm going to be a little more direct. If there's a fork in the road, you can either go to the left or the right. And in this case, what happened to you will be the story of making money, secondary income stream, buying that new Land Rover, a new set of golf clubs. It's built around what I call top down, the business, the money down. Okay. The other fork to the left would be more of a personal health challenge that you had success with. Now, it could be third party. Okay, I have no problem sleeping, but I sell third party the sleeping patches because of my wife who had a very serious problem. So I would say, hey Donna, let me tell you what happened to me. My wife used to be on these nasty knockout drugs, and she would sleepwalk. She would wake up with a hangover. And then a friend introduced her to this new technology: no drugs, no chemicals, no time. She's sleeping through the night. Now, that's just as effective as if it were me. Let me tell you what happened to me. You could go third party, no problem. Now, if you're selling the money, you would say, whoa, Fred, let me tell you what happened to me. I got on this Zoom call with a friend of mine, Roy Sergiano, and this guy came on who's been with this company for a number. The guy's making 7 figures a year. What I'd like to do is forward a website and see if you see what I see. See, that again is, let me tell you what happened to me from the money side. Or, maybe you've been cooking along and you're making $1,000 a week and you bump into someone and say, hey, Fred, let me tell you what happened to me. I've been working over at Ajax hot dog stand 80 hours a week, and they, quite frankly, hardly pay enough for gas money. And then a friend of mine introduced me to a young company that has an amazing technology that's patented, and I'm making $1,000 a week. So if you know anyone who would like to develop a secondary income stream, go to this website. And if you like what you see, call me back. Now, folks, that script is so simple, and no one is going to hang up the phone on you because you've come in with a very big curiosity. Let me tell you what happened to me. All you decide, you have to be a little bit sensitive because these are friends how you want to present money, business, top down, or more product success with the different products, which I would call the grassroots bottom up. And they're both fine because a lot of the folks that I brought in came in because I introduced the energy patches and they said, holy mackerels, I can sell these things. So one will leverage you to the other. But the key is the way you open is you just simply say, Lorenzo, let me tell you what happened to me. Do you have a minute? And wait for a commitment. If they say, oh my God, I got to get my kids to school, I really don't have time. Can you give it to me quick? Oh, no, it's way too important. I'll call you later. Take charge. You don't have time to squeeze it in. Oh, well, geez, you know what? We're just about ready to sit down at dinner, but go ahead, give it to me quick. You know what? It's way, way too important. I'll call you back later this evening. Take charge. Now, when you call them back, you would simply say, Lorenzo, um, as I said before, I had a very, very interesting situation happen to me. And do you have a minute I can walk you through it? Yeah, no, 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 I'm good. What happened? Now, Lorenzo doesn't know if I fell off a bus, if I had a hole in one, or if I got caught in a snowstorm, right? But he's curious, what the hell happened to you? And that's great. Say, well, I had a problem from hitting a lot of golf balls. And one day I was out it was after it rained, and I was hitting wedges out of really tough soil. It's almost like clay. And I ended up with such pain in my hand. I'm thinking, oh my God, I just hate to take drugs. And a friend of mine introduced me to this technology, which they call it phototherapy. And I don't know what they call it, but I'll tell you, it works. It's a little patch, no drugs, no narcotics. And I stuck it on the web of my hand. I was hitting golf balls the next day. So if you know of anyone that has any pain challenges, let me know and I can share the product with them. Now, that's what I call the dismount. In college, I had a roommate who was a collegiate gymnast, very, very good gymnast. And he said to me one time, he said, you know, Chuck, I can go out there and I can have a mediocre routine. But if I stick the landing, if my last routine off of the high bars is just magical. And I stick that landing. It's only 1/20th of my whole gig. But if the judges see that powerful landing, my scores go up. And I think you'll agree that that's the way that we judge things. You know, it may have been mediocre, but boy, it had a powerful ending. Well, this is what I call the dismount. The dismount is where do you go from the initial, let me tell you what happened to me. And where you go is, so if you know of anyone, see, that's third party. Now you're actually talking to Lorenzo, but rather than say, and by the way, Lorenzo, if you're interested, no, I'm going to say, so Lorenzo, if you know of anyone who's got some very, very strong discomforts for pain, let me know, and I can let them try the product. And Lorenzo says, well, me. Or you may say, so Lorenzo, if you know of anyone who'd like to set up a second income stream that's pretty serious without a lot of money up front, let me know and I can introduce them to what we're doing. Well, I'd be kind of interested. See, that's a nice um, closure to have them come back to you, say, you know, I might be interested. So let me tell you what happened to me. Then you share. It's short. It can't be more than 30 seconds. Elevator script. You know, just a real short. Let me tell you what happened to me. And it's either buy one of the products or a third party buying the products, or it's the money. Now, maybe you're new with LifeWave, you haven't made a penny. That's no problem. You're just say, hey, Lorenzo, let me tell you what happened to me. I got in this call, but frankly, I didn't know really what it was. And there was a guy named Roy Sergiano, and he had a great presentation on this new company. And then this guy came in from California who started some years ago. The guy's making seven figures. And I have had some problems with my credit cards. And, you know, I'm just sick of living paycheck to paycheck. So I am looking at this and I'd love you. Now, here's the dismount. I'd love you, Lorenzo, to take a look at this website, watch this video. You see if you see what I see. See, now you're asking Lorenzo to be a little bit of a consultant. Watch this video because I'd love to get your opinions and see if you see what I see. If so, you could join me. See, those are very, very powerful scripts because you're not trying to pitch and sell and cajole. You're bringing in folks that might know someone who's suffering from pain. They might know someone who would like a secondary income stream. So simple, simple, simple. Now, if it's a referral or if it's, well, let's do a referral. So you're getting a referral from, so Lorenzo says to me, you know, Chuck, I've been busy, but I've got someone who's just been bugging me. He's trying to re-roof my house. And I got his business card. Could you call him? Okay, that's a referral. So I'm going to call John. And my opening, if remember, I don't care if he answers because all I want is the dot. But if all of a sudden someone were to answer, I would say, "Oh, hi, John. This is Chuck Michael. I made a special point to call you, John, because a mutual friend, Lorenzo McGrew, spoke highly of you." Okay, so let me rebuild that so you can write this down. "Oh, hi, John. This is Chuck Michael. John, I made a special point to give you a call because a mutual friend spoke highly of you, Lorenzo McGrew. And if you have a second, Lorenzo and I are involved in a very interesting project together, and he thought about you. So if you have a second, I'd like to kind of walk you through what we're doing." Now, remember, that is cold turkey, folks. You don't know John from a bag of grapes, but you've got a mutual friend. So in a way you do. But you have to let John know you made a special point to call him because a mutual friend suggested I give you a call. And Lorenzo and I are involved in a very interesting project together, and he thought about you. So if you have a second, I can kind of walk you through what we're doing. Okay? So that's a very, very powerful referral script. And then what you would say is, for instance, let me go through the script again. "Oh, hi, John. This is Chuck Michael. John, a mutual friend, Lorenzo McGrew, spoke highly of you and had asked me to give you a call because Lorenzo and I are involved in a very interesting project together. And if you have a minute, I'd like to walk you through it." "Oh, yeah, I know, Lorenzo. What are you guys doing?" Say, "Well, let me tell you what happened to me." Have you heard that before? They don't change, folks. "Let me tell you what happened to me, John." And then if it's the money side, I was introduced to this young company with a patented product. And all of a sudden I thought, my God, is this going to be another Apple or another Microsoft or another Cisco? I said, okay, what could this young company become? So Lorenzo and I really like what we see because the products are patented. They're cheaper than a cup of Starbucks. They're consumable. So if your time allows, I'd like you to take a look. This is the dismount. I'd like you to take a look at a website, and there's a couple of videos there. In fact, if you have a pencil, I'll give you the direct video, or I can send you a link. And if you like what you see, call me back. Now that's powerful because you've bonded a little with John. You haven't really pitched. You just said, "I'd love to get your opinions on this." Okay, now let's talk about cold. It doesn't change much from the referral to the cold. And let's say you're driving through the neighborhood and there's a new for sale sign that's gone up 2 doors down from your house. And it's Betty Bloomberg with Century 21. So you write down Betty's phone number and the house address. Now, why do you call Betty? Because you need another dot. You don't care about the name. All you know is you've got a phone number and a name, and you need a dot because it's getting late and you've only got 19. You got to have 20 dots. So you call Betty. "Oh, hi, Betty. This is Chuck Michael. Betty, I made a special point to give you a call because I saw your sign on the house at 1614 Elm, which is actually just 2 doors down from me. Do you have a second?" Now, where do you think it goes from here? If she says, "Well, yeah." Say, "Well, I'm not in the market for a house, but let me tell you what happened to me." Now, with Betty, I'm going to sell it top down. Let me tell you what happened to me. And the reason that I thought about you, Betty, is because I understand real estate and it's not a steady paycheck. When you hit the home run, bang, but then you've got some quiet time. And a friend of mine introduced me to a young company with a patented product that pays weekly. It could be 1,000 a week, 2,000 a week, 10,000 a week. And I'd love to get your opinions and see if it would fit in. If you have a pencil, I'll give you a website. Now, folks, I did that over and over and over and over, and it worked. And, a lot of people said, "Whoa, you're right. I just closed an escrow, but I had to pay down all my credit cards. I'd love to have a steady weekly income. What's it going to cost me to get started?" Huh, that's the best part. Wait till you hear this. That's phase 2 of the script. But anyway, I've given you some ideas, and don't try to get creative. Just copy, because it works. Any questions?
There we go. All right, that is the master hand. Any questions? So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what Chuck applied to me after, I don't know, 100 calls maybe. And I said, okay, Chuck. And I got stuck in a dealer. So he picked me up and we went to lunch. And
Well,
that is
Roy,
how I got started. Yes, sir.
no, Roy, Roy was at least 75 dots. I said to myself, you know, when I'm 2 dots down, I'm going to call this guy Roy Sergiano. And I get my 2 dots because I always got his voicemail. I didn't care. And then all of a sudden on the 76th dot, Roy Sergiano, I was stunned. I said, Roy, Chuck Michael Roy made a special point to give you a call. So again, it was just reps and reps and reps. And,
Yeah.
the rest is
So
history.
Chuck, this is Una. That was a great presentation. Thank you so much. What I really, really liked is that you just took away that fear of calling someone, because for me, when I call somebody, it's that rejection. But for you, it was just getting the dot on the paper. So I really like that. And I really like it that you say, hey, I'm going to give you my website. If you like it, come back to me. In the beginning, you mentioned a video. Is there a particular video that you send to the dot? You know,
Yeah,
the person at the end of the dot?
Oh, the first one that Roy showed, yeah, that is the killer. And you can set that up easily by saying something. You would just simply say, um, one of the ways to share an idea is make yourself the scapegoat. So what you would do with someone, what I'd like you to do is go to this website. And quite frankly, what I was concerned with COVID and everything was strengthening my immune system. So when you watch this video, you will see how powerful this technology is. See, that's a little bit of a more curiosity. We're all concerned about, because the way you fight a virus, the way you fight anything is in direct proportion to the strength of your immune system. And I'm not making medical claims, but that is the secret sauce of the X39 because it strengthens the stem cells. So if you were to say, you can even make you third party. See, Mary, Lynn, I'm going to role play. Mary, you're probably like me with this darn COVID. I was real concerned about strengthening my immune system so I can fight this off. And a friend introduced me to this product that's patented, no drugs, nothing in the body, no chemicals. So watch this website, and if you like what you see, call me back. See, that's a pretty powerful script.
It's a very powerful script. So if they don't call you back, do you wait like a month, a year?
No. Well, here's the way.
You just.
Well, I don't like to be rejected, and I hate disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
So I never let myself be disappointed. So I say to myself, okay, I know they will never call me back. So no big deal. I've already acknowledged that mentally. So I'm going to call them. Now, when I call them back, I'm going to say, oh, hi, Mary, Chuck Michael. I just want to follow up. Have you had a chance to take a look at that website? And you may have some questions. Oh, I came home and the cat tipped over the water dish and I had a busted spring on my screen door. And you know what? I just am so busy. Say, hey, I get it. We're all busy. No problem. Take your time. I can check back with you in a month. What's good for you? I give them a lot of rope. I can check back with you in a couple of months. What's good? Oh, no. I'm going to do it. Call me in a day or two. So I let them think, no urgency, kick it down the road. I can call you back in a month. What's good for you? Or give me a call. So I do follow up. And then if I don't hear anything, I'll call them back again. Say, just following up, anxious to get your opinions. That's why you're calling back, because you're really anxious to get their thoughts, their opinions. What is their thinking about this X39. So you're kind of like on the edge of your seat, say, I had to call you because I'm really anxious to get your opinion. Oh gosh, I came home and you won't believe it, but I had a run in my stocking, and you cannot live with a run in your stocking. So I had to go buy new stock. Oh, I know you're busy, but I'm really anxious to get your thoughts. So when you have a minute, take a look and call me back.
Yeah.
Thank
So,
you. That's so good. Thank
yeah,
you.
that's the reason, because you're anxious. I'm really, really anxious to get your professional opinion or
Chuck,
your thoughtful opinion. You know,
uh,
adverbs are pretty powerful. I'd love to get your insightful opinion, your thoughtful opinion, your well-schooled opinion. If you think what we're doing is on track, those things are powerful. And so
Chuck,
someone is, because you're throwing a lot of flowers, and so they're going to. It's just a very good verbiage.
Thank you
Chuck,
so
you
much.
remember, Chuck, when after you recruited me, I put you in front of a bunch of lady from Kangen Water. Do you remember what's her name? And you went to Canada with her.
Carol.
Was it Carol? Okay. That was the first move that you did for me that really triggered me open because I was very, very busy. I was super busy at that time. And when you said like you went to Canada, I didn't even know that you went to Canada with her
Yeah,
because Carol called me like, wow, Chuck is going over what is required to do. And it triggered me. I said, this guy concerned about my success. So I am a little bit more engaged. And then we start recruiting. I send you an email every Sunday night, remember?
I
Chuck,
do.
Monday we're going to meet people here, Tuesday here, Wednesday here. And then until I have a lot of people, we did our first presentation at that Silo Hotel.
Yeah.
Yes, that hotel has been bought by the Hilton, by the way. No more Silo there. And that is how it triggers. So I think, ladies and gentlemen, when you bring somebody in, you got to dig that database. You got to know what are their database and teach them to call each and every one of them, and then show concern. You go over your way so that you reach to those people in their database. One, two, three. Once you're able to do so, the person that you are trying to recruit, so like, my goodness, this guy is serious. And that is what triggered me, that I became more engaged with Chuck. And then I commit to Chuck. Okay, I think every Tuesday and Thursday we met at that hotel on Kalima and Azusa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was only you and me, and then Ken was there. Only
Yeah.
3 people, 4 people, 10
Yeah.
people, and then there's only you and I. Nobody else showed up. And then one day we almost had 100 people in the whole hotel, and we got kicked out because we do not want to pay the room. You
Yeah.
know, I
Roy,
remember those days.
right. I've got a 5:30. I've got to run, but I want to just close hitchhiking off what Roy just said. Um, there is nothing more powerful than, well, let's say that you brought in, I don't know, your brother, your mother, your aunt, your uncle, and you say to them, hey, give me 3 or 4 names of folks that I could call for you. They're your people, because I'm a little more experienced. You're just getting started. I'll call them and show them the website. So they gave you 3 or 4 names. And one says, hey, I got a brother in Denver, Tim. Why don't you give Tim a call and see what he thinks? He says, okay. So I called Tim. I said, oh, hi, Tim. Tim, I made a special point to give you a call because Donna, your sister, spoke highly of you as a pretty serious business guy there in Denver. And Donna and I are involved in an interesting project together. And I thought I'd walk you through it and see if you'd have an interest. So he does. He calls me back and he says, whoa, I love this. I want to get started. I called Donna. I say, hey, Donna, guess what? Your brother is in. He's a diamond and he is ready to go. And I'm going to be working with him. You don't think Donna gets excited? She has
Yeah.
gone from a rep to having a downline. So that's the other side of this. If you're working underneath people for them, And then you go back and say, hey, guess what? Mary is very interested. I put her on the website. And I think when I talk to her tomorrow, she's going to want to get started. So hitchhiking off of Roy, when we went to this meeting, and this gal said, I've got a real good group up in Canada. I didn't ask Roy permission. I just said, Carol, let's go. Boom, we're in an airplane. We're flying to Canada. We did 2 days worth of meetings. We're working the streets. We get people started. And when I came back, I said, Roy, you're rich, but don't you have to leave a Rolls Royce in my driveway as a thank you? No, I already got my Rolls. Anyway, thank you so much, Roy. This is great.
Thank you, Chuck.
Number, if you don't, get it from Roy. And if you want to just visit privately, if you want to practice, if you want more info on these scripts, call me anytime. Roy, please give my cell number.
Yeah,
I'm
I will do that.
That's all I want to do. But I've got to run to another Zoom, so I got to go. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you, Chuck.
Always.
All right. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. You hear it from the man himself, a man who had influenced me in many different ways that I joined LiveWave, and after that, it was crazy.
I had a question for Chuck, but
okay, go ahead. Oh shoot,
anybody who can who has ideas would be great. Basically, it's what if it's somebody you haven't talked to, but you guys know each other. What would Chuck say?
Let me tell you what had happened to me.
That is so true, right? That is so true. Just say, it's been a long time, but let me tell you what happened to me.
That's right.
That's really it, guys. It's the phrase, the Chuck Michael phrase.
Yeah. It is.
Just
it is
dial
powerful.
and the tick mark. That's it.
Yeah. So Aloysius, you got to translate that into Indonesian, okay? And whoever, like Angie and Crystal, you got to translate to Malaysian. Let me tell you what had happened to me. So that's a powerful phrase that we could use. And I think we're going to be successful. And 60 ticks a day. I did 10. My goodness, he did 60 ticks a day, because I got work. So 60 ticks a day, 1,800 ticks. 10% sign up, there's 180 people sign up. And then if it is still 10 people, 10% of the 180 is still 18 people a month. That is not too bad. So we got to create those ticks, and we got to keep calling those people. And you want to start with 10 a day. I think 10 a day is reasonable and is doable. And then 1 or 2, we will trigger it. And that is the people that you want to work in. And then once you work with that people, you want to dig the database, and it's going to go kaboom. It's going to go kaboom. Thank you, everyone who attended this this Zoom. We learn it and we hear it from the horse mouth himself. And hope you all learn it and you can practice it, okay? By the time we hang up today, you want to call your best friend now. Not tomorrow, not tonight. Now, call. Let me tell you what had happened to me, man. This is so exciting. And then you just blur it out. You practice it, and you're going to do fine. You're going to do so fine. And everybody's going to be happy because you're building your business without you realizing it. You're having fun, but you're building your business. All right, guys. Have a good night. God bless you.
Thank you, me
and
too.
see you at the top.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Lloyd.
Good night.